I want you to go check out italkparanormal.com. All kinds of fun things about the show, which are also found at Mallard.com, Mallard. But also a good opportunity at iTalk Paranormal thing to find out about other teams, other groups. It's all coming together really fast here, folks. So please take a few minutes and go check out italkparanormal.com and Mallard.com. Also, while you're there, click the banner ad for Bizarre Tech. Brad over there is a wonderful source of information for all things website related. He specializes in WordPress, but don't worry, he can help you out no matter what. He's helped me out. Trust me on this one. If you have a website question, shoot him a message. I'm sure he'll talk to you at no cost. He'll just talk to you about ideas, and we'll see what you want to do and get it put together. So go to italkparanormal.com and collect the Bizarre Tech ad and check out iTalk Paranormal while you're there. I want to welcome everybody to tonight's Mallard Report. I want to remind you the views and opinions of the Mallard Report are they're mine. They're not any of the network sponsors, affiliates, chatters in any of the chat rooms, iTunes, anywhere else that you may be catching tonight's program or whenever you may be catching it. While it is an opinionated show, and I have my own opinion and you have yours, let's keep that in mind. And if you have a problem with those opinions, go ahead. Feel free to send me a message or hate me on Facebook or MySpace or Twitter or Google Plus or wherever you want to hate the Mallard Report at. Go ahead and hate the Mallard Report. That's Malliard. Just go ahead, post whatever you want to post. But remember, those views and opinions of the Mallard Report, my own, have no impact on or no affiliation with any of the sponsors, affiliates, other networks, anybody that I've come in contact with, any of the guests, anything like that. Keep that in mind and enjoy tonight's show.
Hi, this is Dave Roundtree, author of Paranormal Technology, Understanding the Science of Ghost Hunting, lecturer, author, and paranormal researcher. And when you're not busy in the field, do what I do and listen to the Mallard Report with Jim Mallard.
Hi, my name is Joshua Rittenauer. I'm the founder of Westmoreland County Paranormal. We are a local paranormal group that was established in 2010. The question that you may be asking yourself is, am I experiencing a haunting? If you're an individual that is asking this question, you're in the right place. We at WCP are a team of 8 investigators that truly care and are passionate about investigating your claims and answering your questions. WCP is based from Greensburg, Pennsylvania, but we will travel out of state if you need our services. Just to break it down a little bit for you about ghost hunters, paranormal investigators, whatever you choose to call it, and what we do. In all honesty, with all the paranormal craze as of late, some people may have a different view of the facts of what we do from either watching television, hearing radio shows. The first thing is, there are no professional teams in this field. There is no member of college degree that can teach any of us what exists or happens when we leave this life. The only thing that we have is theories from experiences that we have had investigating. This is why 90% of paranormal groups do not charge a fee for services. There is no guarantee of what we may find, if anything. Well, you may be asking yourself, what can WCP do for me? Well, our services are 100% free of charge and completely confidential. We will do our best to add validity to your claims with evidence that we may find during the investigations. We will work with your schedule for booking investigations. We only ask that you can give us a minimum of 3 hours to investigate your claims. We have at our disposal a variety of tools that can help us document paranormal activity. We will do all that we can do to offer you peace of mind of what you are dealing with. If in the case that we cannot help you, we will direct you to credible persons that can help with your situation. If you would like to contact us with any questions or request an investigation with WCP, you may call us at 724-989-8400, or you can visit our website, www.parareality.org. That is PARAREALITY.org. Once again, thank you for tuning into the Mallard Report with host Jim Mallard, founder and CEO of Meadville Paranormal. Hope you enjoy the show. Thank you for listening.
Hey everybody, it's the Mallory Report. It's the Mallory.
I'd like to welcome Scott Tepperman. Jeez, I must have slaughtered his last name. That would be special to start the show. Start the show that way. Well, if you would be able to read my notes, you'd be understanding. Kind of looks like a doctor scribbled some things on a piece of paper. I should probably take a few more minutes and do it right. But how are you doing tonight, Scott?
Doing well.
So I want to start with a general overview of your experiences on Ghost Hunters International. I don't want to stay there all night. I've got a whole bunch of other things I want to get to, but I just figured thoughts. Has it been good? Just a general, grand old expression, I guess.
Like how we got started on GHI, or?
No, just like the overview, how that experience has been so far for you. Have you enjoyed it?
Yeah, it's been fantastic. I've been on the show almost 2.5 years, and I've never even been overseas until I joined the show. And, it's a huge opportunity. You just opened up as a person to all the cultures and customs and lifestyles in general. And you realize how sheltered we really are in the U.S. and how lucky we really have it. When a lot of other cultures they struggle on a daily basis, and it's very humbling to go overseas. The ghost hunting, we're there for a job, and all the places are steeped in history, usually more so than the States. But it's just the most impressive thing to me is actually being able to travel and see all these places, and then being able to tailor our investigation, because every place we go to is different, with different history, with different cultures and beliefs and customs, and you can't investigate like you normally would in New Jersey and go in Pennsylvania or whatever. Everything is really, really different, and you have to keep that in mind every time you investigate the location.
Yeah, I'd imagine that'd be a lot of learning and it'd be fun to travel, and let alone do something that you enjoy doing while you're there.
Yeah, it's awesome. Fantastic.
So speaking of the States, how's the Alpha Ghost team doing?
We're doing well. We basically, I was in the group for 4 years and became lead investigator there, and then formed Alpha at the end of 2008. And, shortly, not even a year after that, I started getting involved with GHI. And we didn't really have a chance to get things off the ground. So we're a solid team, we're a close team, and we're driven. We have the right, the right direction for everything. But we just have to get it up and running. So while I was home, we've been home for a while now. I was able to really jumpstart it, get it moving, and pick up some more cases. We've always been selective with cases because of the general nature of people, just wanting everything is haunted, or they want crazy, they're crazy, or they want, they know I'm on GHI. Right. We get more requests because they think I'm going to show up, which I will because it's my team. But we have to really have a process that is pretty stringent in terms of our screening the cases that we decide to take on.
Yeah, I'd imagine more so. Even more so than in my case, we have a process, but I'm sure there's an extra layer to yours than mine. Like I said, I'm going to just move through a lot of different. You like to sing. Now, I've done this before on air, and that's probably where half my listeners went. That one night, I decided maybe I picked the song in the wrong key. I did "Let It Be" by the Beatles. Of course, maybe I should have just let it be. But so what would you? I know you do a lot of it. What's the go-to? I guess the word I'm looking for, song that you'd pull out of here if you need to knock it out.
Oh, what would I go to? They sing?
Yeah, what would be that? If you were auditioning for like American Idol, what would be the one song you'd go out there that you can knock out?
Oh God, it's probably for funny purposes, but probably Heart, Alone, and then Sean Paul, Temperature, because I'm actually pretty good with that one. And then I always like to throw a wild card at people. Like I go to this one karaoke place all the time, and we have all our regulars there, and they always sing their same songs, which are cool. They'll sing a few other ones, but they always have that one or two that they go to because they nail them, with them, and they always do a good job. I always like to be the wild card. I always like to trump up something that people were like, I don't even remember that song, never mind you singing it. You know, I just like to do stuff like that. So I definitely probably throw them a curveball as well.
Yeah, well, every once in a while you got to mix it up, because if you do the same thing every week, what's the point of doing it, right?
What's that?
If you might as well throw something different out there once in a while, even if you totally suck at it. At least you had fun. I'm pretty sure that's what the point of this is, right? Not to.
I have a blast, and I always tell people, if you can sing, don't do karaoke, because that's not fun. You know, I cannot sing at all, and I think it's hilarious to sing karaoke just for that reason. I don't like when when I go out and I'm watching people sing and they can sing very well. It's like, well, why are you bothering with karaoke? That's not fun for us to listen to. We want to watch a train wreck. We want to listen to a train wreck. So we will, especially when I sing, I'll do it up. I'll put on wigs. I'll scream at the top of my lungs. I'll sing women's songs. It doesn't matter, man. I love to do it and have a blast. And I'm actually one of the very few people that will sing karaoke sober. I don't drink, so this is just how I normally am.
Well, if you can't have fun, I don't understand the point. I mean, there's certain things in life you just have to cut free and experience. I mean, I don't understand some people that are so rigid and can't just laugh at themselves once in a while. But I'm not talking to Dr. Phil. I'm talking to Scott Tepperman. So we'll just so we'll shift back here and see what's going on. Favorite place to investigate? Oh, here we go. Hold on a second, Scott. My audio is deciding to do tricky things. Hold on. Try again. Oh. So what would be your favorite place to investigate?
The favorite place, my dream location is Jonestown in Guyana. It's because of what went on there with the whole Jim Jones and the Kool-Aid. Don't drink the Kool-Aid. I think that so many people died under such oppressed conditions, and so suddenly, and I'm sure there's some kind of paranormal activity there. And I would love to check that place out. The place that we have investigated, the team has been saying this basically over and over right now, because I think it really is one of our all-time favorites, is ATM Caves in Belize. It was an underwater Mayan tunnel system in Belize. It was amazing. It was caves.
Is that where the other part of the calendar is, by the way?
What's that?
Is that where the other part of the Mayan calendar is? Underwater?
I don't know. I don't know about that, but this was really, this was the Crystal Maiden one that we did, and it was just an amazing location. The water at times was over 20 feet deep in certain areas. It was probably 50 degrees, that water. And we went in at night, and the trek there was a journey in itself. There were poisonous snakes. We had to wade through rivers that were pretty much we were up to our necks, and at one point we had to literally float the equipment or hold stuff above our heads. It took almost an hour to get there. And the one thing I'll never forget, other than the caves themselves, we were in there a while, because it was like a 2 mile, I think it was 2 miles deep, and it was really a trek to get out, because it was treacherous. The rocks they were covered with moss, or just they were slippery, and people were falling left and right. The guides were falling, everybody was falling, and it was hard enough to get in there. But when we got out, I remember we were there 2 or 3 nights, but the one night I'll never forget, we got out. It was like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, and we emerged from this cave, and we had just waded through like literally 25 feet of water, deep of water, and we were in the middle of the jungle, and right through the trees, the sun rising. It was absolutely beautiful. The morning air was hitting you, absolutely gorgeous, unforgettable experience, and that definitely places that on the top ones that I investigated with GHI.
That's pretty cool. Your buddy Paul Bradford was on the show. Oh goodness, almost 2 months ago now.
I said the same thing.
No, I asked him where he'd want to go investigate, and he said the Titanic.
Oh, yeah, that'd be interesting. That'd be pretty cool.
I mean, I've seen all these specials the last few days because it's been like the 100th anniversary. I'm thinking. So here's my question: is the haunting at the top where the people they drowned, or is it at the bottom where the boat is?
You saying where you think would be more haunted?
Would it be at the top where where the boat, like, they actually probably drowned at the top and then the boat just sunk to the bottom, or would it be at the bottom with the boat?
I don't even know. I would just think that there would be stuff on board just because of the nature of what happened. I mean, again, when when people die suddenly, or they get confused, or violently suddenly, whatever, they're just trapped. For whatever reason, their soul's trapped. Its spirit's trapped. They might not realize exactly what happened. They might be confused. They might still be there. So I think that ship in general is ripe for activity. I don't want to say anything is going on there, but it's very possible that there is. Again, once you have an area in close proximity where a lot of people died, you're definitely prone to heightened activity. So it would be definitely interesting to check that place out.
This is kind of a tricky question, but I'm going to ask it anyways. Three people dead or alive that you could if you could investigate with them.
That I could investigate with them?
If you could just grab yourself a group and say, it doesn't matter where. It's just probably.
Mine's gonna be really lame because they're pretty much my two idols. So it'll be David Hasselhoff and Violent J from Insane Clown Policy.
Okay,
right off the bat, it'll be definitely those two. Third one, I don't know. I really don't know. This sounds really lame, but I probably would. I would love to have them experience something with me. So if I'd be able to go to one of those places, to be able to bring one of them would be fantastic.
Well, it's okay. You're allowed to do what you want to do.
Yeah, pick like Jesus or Hitler or Santa Claus or people always pick out those guys, or Manson or whatever. Yeah.
Well, mine, I'd like to take Hans Holder and Harry Houdini, and I want to take George Carlin. I have no idea why George Carlin, because I figured the other two would get in this big, knockdown, drag out debate, which would be cool to watch for a while, but after a while, it'd just be like, really, guys? Just, so there'd be Carlin.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
I think that'd be fun. I could be totally wrong. I could watch like the triple homicide too. That'd be.
He'd be spewing one-liners left and right. I know that.
Yeah, it'd be. I mean, because you gotta admit, there are sometimes you wish you had somebody that could just knock a one-liner out.
Exactly.
So I know you're on Twitter a lot. So tell me, how has that impacted your? I don't want to say brand, but how has that impacted your personality and your personal life? And
what's that?
The Twitter. How has that evolved for you guys?
It's weird. A lot of people, you see a lot of people online in general, and trying to get more people to follow them is almost like a competition. Like, I have more numbers than you, I have this and that, I'm more popular. I really view Twitter and Facebook as extended family. I mean, the way I communicate with everybody, I can tell you I've made quite a few friends between those two sites that I've never even met, but you just know them. You'll get messages. Sometimes something's going on and you'll post something and then you get comments, you get advice, you get everything else. And it's a really good support system that I have on Twitter and Facebook. I mean, the fans are really everything. I know everybody says that, but they truly are. I mean, aside from, them making the show popular and them making us what we are, they're really a good support system. When you're on the road, tweeting and Facebooking, and you're getting responses, and I'm here too, I understand this, or blah blah blah. It really goes a long way. And I've actually wrote several. I had a couple books out, and I wrote several poems that they always, everything's always dedicated to the fans, and it really shows how much that they're appreciated. And I wish everyone really knew just how much they did mean to us. But I think we're doing a pretty good job trying to convey that to them.
Well, I have to admit, you guys on Ghost Hunter National seem to be the later at connecting with their fans. So I
love doing it. I love doing it.
I mean, between you and Paul and even Barry and Chris, and it seems like you all are on there answering people, which is just phenomenal for me. That's the connection I'd like to see. Well, anyways, we're not going to bash anybody else, but at least you guys are the leaders in it. We're not comparing notes, but that's just my opinion. So for what that may be worth.
Well, no, it really, not just saying it because I'm part of the team, but it's really, I know Sci-Fi, it's taken them a while. They had a revolving door of investigators for a while, but, I was on for a couple months on and off, and then I was gone for a few months, and then I've been back. I've been back almost 2 years straight, and the team has got really solidified and really, really gels. And what's cool is the fact that they really, really picked it. It's a very good team. We're a very good balance. We really, I don't like to use that role model, but you know, we certainly could fit that. You know, we don't do anything that we're not bad people. We don't put on a show, front for the show. You know, we don't drink. Most of us don't drink. We don't smoke. We don't do drugs. We don't do crazy things. We're very straight-laced, normal, down to earth. Care about family. Care about animals. Care about elderly. Care about charities. We're just all about that. It's cool that somehow we all came together because, you know, when GH came out, obviously everyone knows TAPS was a team that was found and given a show. Or, you know, they had a show, maybe whatever. GHI was handpicked to be a spin-off from that. So we weren't a team before. We didn't exist together. You know, we were handpicked. They probably wanted this, that, whatever. We became so much more than probably anyone. I think that it's really really remarkable thing for me. I'm closer with them than I am with them. And they're great guys. They're genuinely good. Great.
Yeah, it is remarkable to watch how you how it's come together. I mean, there was a lot of cast changes there in the beginning, which is whatever it is. But oh goodness, are we? Okay, hold on. Just okay, we're back. The first time I actually heard your voice was back when you used to do what was it, Dead Ends with Steve and Sean on Lake Erie Paranormal Radio then?
Okay, yeah, Lake Erie.
Yeah, way back whenever that was, I can't remember. And then I started listening to your show with Ron. So I've been following you for.
Yeah, we're relaunching we're getting season 2 off the ground too, but we're getting some really good guests lined up that are gonna blow everybody away. So we want to do it the right way. We don't want to do it, so that's why we're taking a little breather.
No, I understand. It's tough. It's tough to book guests, especially when you're.
Oh yeah.
You have a little more clout than me, but I'm sure you're still finding people that are just. Anyways, we're not going to comment on those people because they'll never come on if I say that out loud.
No, but see, that's one of the things that to talk about the whole journey and that I've been on and everything. Lake Erie, I met them at a small little convention in Ohio 2 or 3 years ago now, probably about 3 years ago, and they were just good guys. You know, there's so many groups out there that are trying to compete with everybody, that are trying to one-up everybody, that don't know what they're doing. These guys were hungry, and they reminded me of myself when I met Brian Lanois 3 or 4 years, probably about 4 years ago now, with a team that I was in before I formed Alpha. And he was actually, despite how crazy people think he is, he was very down to earth, very cool, very approachable. And, you know, everyone was asking him questions like, how's Jason, how's Grant, I was like, listen, what do I need to do? This is the bottom line. I feel myself, you know, floundering here, trying to break out from the other 100,000 teams out there. What do I need to do exactly? And these guys were pretty much the same way. They were like a sponge. They were asking me stuff. They were sincere. They were cool. And I don't recommend many groups I don't endorse many groups or recommend a lot of people. But if I know someone has a situation that they need some kind of a paranormal group, I'll steer them towards them. Or I'll at least say, you know, go with who they recommend. There's only a handful of groups that I'll do that.
All right.
And they're good guys. They're really good guys.
Yeah, I got to know them through their show, and when I originally was thinking about doing a show, I emailed them both and said, what do you think, and blah, 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 and they gave me solid advice, and I adhere to some of it. You know, you take grains of salt from everybody, no matter how good the advice is. Personality takes over, and you still got to do stuff your own way. If not, we'd all be the same. So I'm glad.
They're cool guys.
I'm glad to hear your show's coming back, but it's not coming back at Tuesday at 9, is it?
What's that?
Your show's not coming back at Tuesday at 9, is it? You're going to do a different time?
What we're going to do is we're probably going to when we first started, it was Tuesday, every other Tuesday at 9 o'clock for 2 hours. Right. 2 hours is a little bit of a stretch. I don't even want to hear myself talk that long, and that's saying something. But what we're going to do is the show will probably be about 45 minutes to 2 hours, depending on the show content and the guests that we have or guests. We're going to try to keep it somewhat regular, but if we have to accommodate a certain guest or a certain situation that we need to cover, then we'll be flexible with the night, with the times and everything. But we want to make sure people will know it will be a frequent show. It just might be one Monday, then one Thursday, then one whatever. But I know we'll be good. No competition.
I was no. You know what though? All in all, there's other how many millions of paranormal networks and shows. It's you got to find your niche, and people will find you. If they like you, they like you. If they don't, well, they probably already.
Well, that's what it is too. And on my soapbox about paranormal groups, they should be held with the same degree of seriousness as a doctor, because if people just, like I said, they see a ghost show, and then the next day they're forming a show on Facebook. They have shirts that match, and they have a cool name or whatever, and they just want to go on that, and they dispense misinformation to people. They steer people the wrong direction. And if you want to be a ghost enthusiast and go out to the cemetery and take pictures of ghosts and capture orbs and post those all over your website, that's fine. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I often have the debate between these words get me in trouble because ghost hunter, paranormal investigator. I refer to the ghost hunter as the weekend warrior, the guy that wants to go out and just hit the places that are paid, and then.
But you know what I'm talking about. And there's some people out there that and that's fine, but don't call yourself a professional group and go out and help people. That a lot of people, many people, believe very spiritually and very religiously and very deep-seated beliefs in what they're experiencing. So it's not for you to just say, oh, I have 10 cases this week and this is going to be another one. Alpha takes a case maybe every 2 months, maybe every 3 months.
Yeah, that's just
and it really has to warrant what's going on. That's not to say that the people that do stockpile investigations are doing a disservice. It's just there's quite a few out there that are. And it's very important to know what you're talking about and know how to convey a message to somebody as to what's going on. I always tell people there's nothing wrong with saying, I don't know. This field is just in its infancy, and we're just scratching the surface. And for people to, take it upon themselves to basically crush someone's dreams or say something else, I think is really, really damaging and really dangerous. And there's too many groups out there like that.
My question is...
So when I find a good one, like Lake Erie, like a couple other ones that I know as well, I want to, help them along when I can.
My question is that these groups that do 10 investigations a week, how are they reviewing anything? It takes me weeks to review one investigation that we do. I mean, maybe it's because I put my family first and other things, but, I mean, a 5-hour investigation, that's several hundred still pictures and a couple, 15... 30 hours of video plus audio. You know what I'm saying? I just don't see how you can be fair to an investigation if you're doing even one a week. I mean, it takes me...
No, and some people can. I mean, more power to them. I can't personally, because I know people don't realize that they want to go out and do this and that. If you don't have the time to review, then you don't have the time to investigate. People want to just go out, take pictures, and think anything of it. Go record stuff and get to it all in a couple of weeks. We'll get to it. No, people have hired you out. They want to see, hired meaning not paid, but hired your services, and they want answers. And it's not fair to keep them hanging. If you can't do it, find somebody who can, or at least network well enough to be able to refer them to somebody that is of a high caliber.
Yeah. And if you let it sit for a couple weeks, you won't remember if you were walking or sitting still when you made that recording. So your evidence is all, anyways.
Exactly.
Get off the soapbox. And I always tell people, I'm not worried about the team down the street. If they click on my website and don't like it, and they click on theirs, so be it. It's a product at the end of the day.
But see, that's interesting to me and I'm always stressing, no drama, get along with everybody, share information, try to help move the field forward. I'll tell you right now, we formed our team out of necessity for a proper ghost team in our area.
Right.
There's one in our area that's been there for years, and they're making it difficult for everyone else to get in and do things just for the fact that they are so substandard, let's put it that that way, because then they leave a bad taste in people's mouth, and they don't want to have anything to do with anybody else. So that's not a good thing. And then you have other ones coming out of the woodworks. That's not a good thing. And it's just very strange that the area that I find myself living in, I wouldn't say I have a problem, because I don't really have a problem with anybody, but I kind of have a little bit of a problem with the other teams that are in my area, just for that reason.
Yeah,
And just for the fact that I've been to so many other cities and states and everything else, and I see at least one or two solid groups in those areas. I don't know why my area is absent of that. It's terrible.
Your group is that group, and you just don't realize it. But the other groups, they're a dime a dozen. They're everywhere. It's a Pandora's box, so to speak. I guess the easiest way to put it.
Again.
For every one good group,
terrible.
there's probably 7, 8 bad ones, or mismanaged, or whatever phrase you want to put on it. Oh, so
it's true though.
So I've got to ask you, because this seems to be a hot topic that I talk about a lot. I'm sorry for throwing you under the bus right now, but maybe the connection will break up again. You won't have to answer the question. Paranormal Unity, good, bad, indifferent. What's your thoughts?
What is it?
Paranormal Unity. You haven't seen this on Facebook? Everybody support? Well, not everybody. I don't, but people are pushing the Paranormal Unity. You missed this?
Paranormal Unity?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't even know if that's a certain concept or what, but I'm always for that. I mean, absolutely. Absolutely. There's a ghost gathering in Florida that I went to a couple of years, and what they do is a bunch of, local groups. They'll share evidence, they'll talk about equipment, they'll do this and that, and they're really not trying to one-up each other, and it's kind of refreshing to see. I don't say that they necessarily do everything completely right, but I admire their passion for it. So I went 2 years in a row, and just, I think it was 2 years in a row, and just, had my input, had my stuff there as well. It was pretty cool. Everyone was on the same level playing field, and we were all there to learn. All of us were there to learn. I like when stuff like that happens.
Sounds like a good idea. I wish there would be more of that.
Yeah, definitely.
Not to knock your your events, but at some point the grassroots people need to get together and just talk too. I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
Not that I'm knocking you a paycheck or anything, but
yeah, no,
don't take that the wrong way.
Never come into anything.
Speaking of which, I've looked at your calendar. You're getting busy with these events.
You know what, we're getting crazy, and it's just because, as far as I know, everything with GHI, as far as I know, should be fine. We haven't heard anything to the contrary. I know people keep speculating. And somebody even took out a petition to save GHI, which can't hurt. But, no, we right now, I think what they're doing is probably just figuring out what to do and how to put, who's going to be airing when and what's going to be going on, is my opinion. Because, they usually have us on, then they have GH, then they have us again. Well, they had GH, then us, now GH again, and that's why we find ourselves in a lull, is what I believe. But, that open time is affording us a lot of free time, and we're actually getting a lot of invites, and we're doing fundraisers, and Paul and I are doing the tour. We're trying to hit a lot of different areas, and Paul and I are getting very well received by people. So we just want to keep doing that, connecting with everybody. We love meeting with fans, exchanging ideas, exchanging stories, and everything else. And let's keep doing it until we head back on the road. Absolutely.
Yeah,
I have like 10 more events coming up, I think.
Like I told Paul, it was still, like I said 2 months ago, so everything was still kind of vague, but he was talking about touring the States with you, and I'm like, are you sure you want to do that? And he's like, I'm not sure Scott wants to do that, so we'll have the tour with you. I asked him if he was sure he wanted to do that, because I was like, he likes to sing. Is that okay with you? He said, it doesn't bother me, so that's good.
Yeah, no, everything's great.
So I told him, once summer gets here, I mean, I think most of those events are scattered over the summer, right? That I seen, like June.
I have my events due. Yeah, I have my events due November, I think. At least one a month. I looked the other day. I'm like, oh wow, that's literally at least one a month.
So like I told him, once this, like sometime mid-July or June or sometime, I'll get you both back on, or one of you. It depends on who's willing to take the big dive. Oh, and then we'll get the event dates all out there and promoted very well, because I don't have them right in front of me at this moment. So failure as a whole. So what are your goals going forward? I mean, I know the new show. I mean, the radio show's coming back. Keep doing the show. What other things do you have percolating for your mind? You gonna write another book?
Yeah, I actually wrote my last one. It's coming out on May 11th. Fire Walk With Me. Yes, I'm a Twin Peaks fan, but it's more than that. I mean, I quoted Twin Peaks in the book, and I took that title from there. And I talk about why, that's in there and everything. And this book kind of was touching upon what we were brushed upon tonight, about being disheartened by a lot of paranormal groups out there. Basically, somewhat autobiographical, somewhat of a ghost hunting team handbook. And that's why I almost made it like a pocket book. It's one of the smaller books you can carry around with you. And that's going to be a really interesting book, and that's closing out my trilogy on paranormal books. I'm probably not going to do any more of those. Never say never, but I'm planning not. I am currently working on another book on obscure horror films. I'm reviewing them, talking about a lot of movies that I love and I hold in very high regard that have somehow been overlooked or just fell by the wayside over the years. Hopefully to regenerate some interest in those. So that book's going to be out probably sometime in the summer. It's about halfway done. And then I'm actually going to be in 3 movies. I'm working on a 4th one as well. I'm securing a 4th one, but one of them is going to be I'm going to be a deputy in the new Night of the Living Dead remake. I'm pretty excited about it. So I'm going to try to get into a lot of low-budget horror films because that's pretty much my love is low-budget movie horror movies. And I'd love to be involved with those any way I can. I'm even planning on trying to write and / direct 1 or 2 of those as well. So, yeah, I mean, ghost hunting, that's my number one thing. CHI is my number one thing, but you have to look in the future because, none of that stuff's going to be around forever. And I want to get into those cheapy horror movies. I already have a good end.
I was going to say, this kind of leads right on my next question, that hobbies that help you investigate. Of course, I'm not sure how a horror movie helps you investigate, but it's kind of a cool hobby.
It really doesn't. If anything, a lot of times I get this from the team all the time. When I make comments when we're in a certain place or I act a certain way, they're always like, dude, you watch way too many horror movies. I make Saw references when we go to these places. When we went to Samoa, when we had machetes, you can't tell you how many Jason Voorhees references I was throwing around, and I was going over just hacking everything in my sight with it. But no, it's a lot of fun. I originally got into it. I originally got into the field of paranormal because of my love of horror movies as a very young child. I was literally 6 or 7, and I was growing up in the early 80s, and that's when the slasher film was in its heyday. And those to this day are remain very close to my heart and everything. So I just absolutely love those films. And that got me involved because when the whole Amityville horror case was breaking, there were supernatural aspects to an actual crime case. And that got me interested because I'm like, okay, what I like on screen could possibly actually be real because, of this actual case that was going on. And that just fueled my interest in the supernatural and just got me on board with my interest in ghost hunting. So it kind of goes hand in hand.
Well, it's interesting how different. It wasn't necessarily a experience; it was just a concept that kind of got you into it. Because most people have that experience where they see something or hear something, but it's kind of backwards.
I had nothing. Yeah, I had nothing.
Interesting.
I mean nothing. Not even the slightest. I just had nothing.
Well, that's okay. I mean, you're allowed to bring it however you want to bring it in this field. I enjoy hearing something different for a change instead of I was walking across the street and some guy said hello to me. It wasn't there. Not that I've ever heard that.
Well, no, but over the years, I've experienced quite enough to make me a believer. I've explained things. I've seen things that I just couldn't explain away. Things that left the door open for a possibility, and whereas a lot of people would, say, oh, if it's not black and white, it's not there. I would be like, well, prove to me that it isn't, because it's a very good chance that it is there. I think that things have been proven to me more leaning towards it could be something rather than people explaining away things to my satisfaction that it couldn't be something. And so I just keep going. The search goes on because I do believe stuff is out there. We've experienced stuff, but you just always want to capture that one piece of Holy Grail footage, evidence. But it's out there, and you'll find it. Someone will find it.
But you want to capture it with like 3 cameras and 2 recorders, and just so nobody can doubt it. That's
Yeah.
That's amazing. Oh wait, before I forget, you're listening to the Mauer Report, and my guest tonight is Scott Tepperman. I only did that like 40 minutes ago.
Just cut and paste that in there, throw it in there if you can.
Over the bad spots, probably, huh? Oh boy, that's the thing about even recorded. I mean, this is being recorded. It's just you just never know. That's why I still enjoy it, even with the hundred of. May first week in May. Hold on, bring my calendar up here. May 8th.
Okay, yeah, just can't start pushing it around my pages too, and I'll promote it.
Okay,
just remind me about it because I always forget.
It's okay. You're allowed to forget. You're a busy guy. I mean, you're singing, you're acting, you're writing. Let's see, what else can I get you into? Oh, paranormal investigating. Oh, okay.
There you go.
So when do you sleep? No.
What is it, that word? I don't know what that word is.
When do you sleep at? Yeah, I was gonna say. You're like me, up until 2 and then up again at 8. It's just.
Oh my God, I'm literally. I look every night. I'm looking and it's like 3:30, 4 o'clock. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I really have to get sleep. This is ridiculous. Because I'll just stay up and up and up and up, and I'm just always thinking of the next thing. I'm always driving. I'm always whatever.
Yeah.
Every time I'm doing something, I'm thinking of the next thing. I'm not thinking of what I'm doing. It's very weird, but I just seem to operate that way.
That's a good characteristic of people. If they go to bed every day at the same time, or they're just staying up and not doing anything, and their wheels never turn, you don't want to be around them.
Exactly.
But if you talk to somebody 3 times in a row and they're telling you about this new different idea they had, gravitate towards them because they're going to go somewhere or do something really special, or drive you totally insane.
Exactly. I think I do a little bit of everything with my girlfriend. So.
Yeah, that's always the case. But that's okay. I normally ask new advice for new teams, but I want to ask you advice for teams that have been around for a while. Just as a general, like I don't know how to just something or some words that maybe to re-inspire, maybe
about teams, like any specific team, or just in general.
In general, just like I said, I normally ask about new teams, but I've been doing that for a while, so I want to ask about teams that have been around a while. Maybe, like I said, to re-inspire or refocus. There's
a couple of interesting things. One is the fact that I was with a team that was around since before Ghost Hunters came around. And I was very apprehensive about starting my own team in 2008 because I figured that would be considered one of the, quote, post-Ghost Hunters teams. Because we formed in late 2008, it's going to look like everyone else. Oh, we like Ghost Hunters, we formed a team. In my opinion, I feel like every team would pale in comparison because everyone's going to look at, oh, you formed in 2009? Gee, why? You like Ghost Hunters? Okay, that makes sense. And that is the case with a lot of teams. But I did not want to lose that pre-Ghost Hunters status with the team that I was at before because we had been investigating before Ghost Hunters was on. But that being said, I think that a lot of the older group, in general, if you are so set in your ways that you feel like you don't need to learn anything else, you need to get out of the field. Because whatever field you're in, if you plateau, you move on. You just need to do that. And no one knows everything about ghost hunting because, like we say, it's just basically a baby. But the people that I found this a lot of the teams out there that have been around for years, not all of them, but a lot of them seem to frown on these newer teams who admittedly might be lacking in a lot of different qualities, but some of them are really, really good, and I don't think they give them a fair shot. But they think, we've been here longer, we've been doing it before those paranormal TV fad was out there, and we know what we're doing. And some of them they're very resistant to change, and they will not budge. And I don't think that does anyone any good. And they very well might be a very good established group, But you always need to evolve. You always need to move on. You always need to look for that next thing out there, or at least try it, you know? Like, even with my team, Alpha, we have our own equipment. We don't use all the crazy equipment. We don't use all this stuff that, a lot of it looks cool on TV, but we don't use a lot of it. First of all, we can't afford it. Second of all, we're happy with a lot of the equipment that we have. But that's not to say that we don't advocate anyone trying any piece of equipment. You know, we always tell people, if you go to Spencer's Gifts or whatever that store is called, you buy one of those electric globes with the static in them. You know, you touch it and it all goes to one side or whatever. If for some reason that someone thinks that might be used to detect, I don't know, static energy or maybe spiritual energy, and you want to use it on the case, who are we to say no? You know, absolutely go ahead and use it. If it works for you, that's great. If we don't want to use it, that's fine, but we're open to anything. But, you know, you try stuff, you apply it, you see if it works. It's trial and error. But don't shut people out or shut ideas out before giving them a chance. And I think a lot of these old groups do, unfortunately, suffer from that.
I want to drive that point home. If we all did the same thing, maybe if I learned how to talk, this would be a much better show. Run around with K2s. If we all every paranormal investigator just ran around with a K2, and that was it. We're not going to learn anything. We're not going to develop anything new. So, yeah, go out and try.
Well, see, that's the one thing interesting with K2 is also I got a lot of heat from the rest of the team when I started on GHI, because on the old Alpha website, which we are revamping, but on the old website, we basically, we endorsed the K2, but we spoke highly of it as one of the three ones that we really talked about. I think we talked about Tri-Field and then the regular cell sensor, and then it's the K2. My thing with K2, a lot of people say that you can fake things easily with them, or that they don't measure what they're supposed to be measuring and everything else. I can tell you that we've used it on numerous occasions with my local team, and we had before we didn't even have the one with the switch at that time. Now we've evolved, but we had a K2, you put the coin in. So we did that, and the base, the main light was on, and whatever we felt like we were talking to or making contact with was responding when we were saying, could you light up that device? And it would light up. We're like, okay, could you light it up to the fourth dot? And then it lit up to the fourth one. We're like, okay, could you hold it on the fourth dot? And it did. You know, whatever it was measuring, if it wasn't right or not, it was providing some kind of an outlet for whatever we were communicating with to manipulate that and actually communicate with us. So to me, that was a success.
What cracks me up, Scott?
I enjoyed it, but, I don't think they're necessarily the infallible piece of equipment, but for our purposes at that time, we asked something that was lit up to do something, and it worked. There was no cameras there. We weren't trying to impress anybody. This is the experience that we had.
Right.
So that was important to us, and overall, yes, we kind of, I don't say we use it all the time at all, but we certainly won't hesitate to break that up if we need it.
What cracks me up is people using the flashlight, and they'll bang and then they'll bang on
someone
the
used
too.
a flashlight.
I'm like, it's the same
Well,
thing.
but,
Go ahead.
No, we did the Battleship event last weekend with Joe and Susan and myself. And when I was investigating with my group, someone wanted to do the flashlight test. I said, I don't know anything, I don't really know much about it, other than I heard that it's kind of suspect, but knock yourself out if that's important to you, go ahead and do it. And I didn't even, get involved with it. I don't even know anything really about that, other than I've heard a lot of negative things about it. So, but if the person liked it, let them do it. Let them try it out. That was fine. Didn't bother me at all. No. But we didn't certainly come forward with that being a solid piece of evidence. First of all, I don't think it worked anyway, but if that were to come forward, you always need 4 pieces of corroborating evidence or so before you would even possibly consider the possibility that it could be something paranormal. So you want to be very, very, you want to definitely be your own, you want to patrol yourself, you definitely want to be your own critic on stuff, because if you're doubting something and you were there, nobody will ever get past that when they watch it. People send me photos all the time and EVPs all the time. My bottom line is, looks cool, I wasn't there. Looks cool, it could be this and that, I wasn't there. Sounds good, I don't know who was in the room. It's subjective, because I was not there. I have no idea. Yes, it sounds great, I wasn't there. good as throwing it away. Unless I was sitting in a room alone with my own recorder, I asked questions, it was a very controlled environment, and I got an answer, I'm not going to feel comfortable with coming forward with anything unless it was something like that. Because even then, I'd still be kind of skeptical on it.
Yeah, it's tough. Like you said, we're looking for the Holy Grail, and somewhere we'll get it. On the, like I said,
I think we definitely will. I think we definitely will. I think the technology is. I think it's there. I do think it's there. I think that we have yet to completely utilize it in the most effective way. But I do believe that technology exists now to be able to do what we want to do with it. I just think we have to figure out exactly how to channel it.
All right, Scott, we got about 10 minutes left. Before I forget, give me your websites. Because shameless shelf. Oh boy, shameless shelf promotion time. Try saying that 3 times. Try saying that once, let alone 3 times fast.
I always invite people. Find me on Twitter and Facebook, Scott GHI. On Twitter, it's Scott GHI. And on Facebook, I'm Scott Tepperman GHI. But I really ask people to come forward. I mean, if you want to establish some kind of an open relationship with someone that's on one of those established shows, please feel free to join my page. I mean, a lot of the other team members, they have some longevity on me, and their pages are maxed out, and they still do their best trying to contact everybody. But I have openings on my page, so join it while you still can, because it is showing up. And Twitter, like I said, I like to talk to everybody and communicate the best I can back and forth. Sometimes we'll just BS back and forth, or sometimes people have questions for me, or it's always a lot of fun to establish that kind of open line of dialogue with the fans out there. And then I have a website that is www.scott-tepperman.com. The only reason I did that is because WCT is between Scott and Tepperman, and people might put 4 or 2 and they never find it. So scott-tepperman.com, and you just check out some stuff on it. It's pretty cool. It says a little bit about me. My books are for sale on there. There's links to that. And you can access directly my radio show as well as a live video feed that I do. You can access everything for that website.
Yeah, I was there the other day.
Definitely check it out.
I was there the other day. I'm impressed. I like it. So.
What's that?
I was there the other day. I was impressed because I do my own websites. So it's amazing once you start doing your own sites how you look at things differently. When you go from,
I just want to keep it basic, but have everything there as well.
Everything's there and it's clean.
It's distinct, but it's all the info. There's nothing. I don't believe in having all this extraneous crap on there. There's not pages and pages of evidence. The bottom line is there's stuff about Alpha too. Go there, read about Alpha. You like them, find them on Facebook and Twitter. The links are on the page. You want to join my radio feed? You want to check it out? Click on the button. If you don't click on the button. I don't care. Everything is there though for you guys to access, and I try to make it very simple. And I do really welcome people following. It's great. I love sharing stories and learning mutually. And I really like people to come and, I won't say join or friend or follow me, but come be friends with me. Come talk to me, hang out, and join my pages.
Yeah, the worst you can do is he answers your question.
Exactly.
I mean, that's what happened with me, and that's why he's on the show. No.
Exactly.
No, I watch Twitter, and it's just amazing. Sometimes you watch like you or Paul or even Chris and Barry. I mean, everybody takes their crack at it and tries to answer everybody's questions, and it's phenomenal. So I enjoy it immensely.
Appreciate it.
Okay, Scott, we've got 6 minutes left, so we're right at that borderline because I like asking people for their Jerry Springer final thought. So,
one more time.
I like asking people for their Jerry Springer final thought, life lesson. Doesn't have to be paranormal, but whatever you want. I mean, if you want it to be paranormal based, it can be paranormal based. If you want it to be just a gold.
I basically have 2 quotes that I pretty much live by. One is from the Deep show, Night Rider, but that's my favorite show of all time too. Go figure. But one man can make a difference. I love that line. I think that's pretty prophetic too, because if you see how people have changed the world, literally, you look at Gates and you look at Jobs and all them, look what they did, And if you ever want to do anything, don't sell yourself short. At first I was writing my books and I don't even care if nobody likes them. This is something I need to do and I want to do. and I didn't even expect the great response and great success that I've had from them. I've sold tons of them, and I've been getting great reviews left and right, and it's very rewarding that way. But I wanted to write them anyway. First and foremost, I needed to write those, so I went and did that. I didn't care what anyone else thought. And then the other quote that I have is on my website. It's Ralph Waldo Emerson, and it excuse me. What is it? I don't get it right, but I think it's some of the shadows in life are created by us standing in our own sunshine. Again, you're only limited by your own inhibitions and your own imagination. Just go for it. Do what you need to do. I mean, it was years that I would watch Ghost Hunters, and it was not any other show. It was Ghost Hunters. And I watched that. I turned to my girlfriend, I turned to my friends that were in my local team, and I said, I'm getting on that show. There's no reason I shouldn't be on there. I'm good at what I'm doing. I'm good with cameras. I know how to investigate. I present well. I'm a good person. I'm going to get on that show. I kept pushing and being persistent and got on the show. Just try. You don't know if you don't try anything, you'll never know. That's the bottom line.
I've got a quick. Well, it doesn't have to be quick, but you watched that show before. What do you think about Grant leaving? Is that the beginning of the end of that show, or is that just him?
You know what?
Stepping aside. Or?
I'm actually surprised that, and nothing against Ghost Hunters, but I'm surprised that it's been on as long as it has. Just because concepts in general, especially unique ones like ghost hunting in general, that's not the most mainstream. Well, maybe it's becoming mainstream now, but it was only becoming mainstream in the past few years. For a show with that kind of subject matter to flourish the way it did is just astounding. I think it's bigger than anyone has expected. And I know Jason, on more than one occasion, has commented on interviews that he, thought, oh, great, we have an episode for 10 episodes. We have an order for 10 episodes. That's fantastic. Who would have thought it would have been, 100 some odd episodes later that they're still going very strong. I think, Grant, it's been 8 years, 8 years of being the, one of the faces on the most popular franchise. It's probably draining. You don't know if there was stuff professionally going on, if there's stuff personally going on, if he just burnt out of it, which is very, very possible, which is what I believe. You're just doing something that long, and he's not overseas, and still, the strain is tough on family. You're never home.
I was going to say,
you're never home.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but he doesn't fly.
I don't think Steve flies, but Grant does. But all this stuff is within the U.S. But either flying or driving, he's on the road a lot. And if you're on that much, his kids are probably older now. I know Jason's kids are older. He probably. I mean, I'm not speaking for him, but he could turn around one day and say, "Damn, my kids are growing up already. I missed all this. I don't want to miss anymore." Just by thinking how human nature, how people would respond. And I think it's very possible that it just was too much. He's just like, I'm done. I gave a great run. I wish you guys the best, but I need some me time now. Because I can tell you that I'm not feeling any pressure at all. I'll go and go and go. I mean, maybe 100 years old, they'll have to, literally pry me off the show. I'll be like a cat with my nails on the wall. But I'm not feeling the pressure, but it's difficult. It is difficult. And especially being overseas, when I come home, I feel like I'm on vacation at home. And that's not good for a healthy relationship. That's not good for, maintaining friends properly and maintaining your private business, like getting your bills paid and keeping up to date with everything else you need to, house repairs or whatever. It all adds up. And it's very possible that it was time. 8 years is a long time. 2.5 years I'm doing this, I feel like I probably aged about 10 years in the last 2.5 years. I kid you not. I really feel like that.
Well, I found the picture of him before the show started. Grant, that is. No, actually, him and Jason together at a Roto-Rooter function. And then I found one, like the most recent sci-fi publicity shot I could find. And just the body language is just incredible difference.
It might be a lot of stuff.
It just seems like it took a toll. I mean, physically, emotionally.
It's probably everything. It's like I said, people are like, oh, I want to do. You guys are so lucky. There's no doubt it's the greatest job in the world. I'll flat out say it is. However, it's not half as difficult as everyone thinks. It's not half as easy as everyone thinks it is. Does that make sense? Am I screwing it all up?
No, you got it. I follow you. Of course, I don't make sense either, so we're part of this.
There we go. But no, I think a lot of people they over glamorize it. you know, and I think to a point I did as well. I actually knew because I heard the horror stories and I paid attention. I was very meticulous. I'd read everything. I'd, you know, look into everything before I got on board. Just in general, over the years, I had been following stuff like I don't say a stalker, but I knew everyone's business. I knew what was going on. So I wasn't completely in the dark when I ended up getting on board. But I think I overly romanticized it a little bit. It's very, very difficult. And people would spend it for a week. They'd be on the road and they'd say, "We don't envy you guys. It's really hard." I mean, it's a lot of fun and everything else. But when people thank us on Twitter and Facebook, thank you for doing this, thank you for bringing these shows to us and whatever, that means the world to us because, we bust our ass. You know, I've never worked this hard. Even if you see an episode and Joel and I are on it for 3 minutes, those are probably 2 weeks of the hardest week worked. And it depends what they use is whatever comes through. But we all bust our ass as a team. And I think everyone is, bankers are great leaders, but I don't think anyone is taken for granted. I mean, everyone really appreciates the hard work that everyone puts in. It's tough.
All right, Scott. Well, I want to thank you for being patient with me before, and being patient for my little glitches tonight and all that fun stuff. And we'll get you back on here soon to promote all those events coming up. Okay?
Anytime, absolutely.
And good luck with everything that's going on.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Have a good night, Scott.
You too, man. Thanks.